we will move in the program with a presentation from Noémie about the boot camp. It's very interesting. Who knows what boot camp is? Oh, not so many. Okay, okay. Very interesting. And afterwards, we will have a short recap, and then we are finished. And okay. Sorry. At 5 p.m. right? Yes. 5 p.m. Okay. From 5 p.m. we have a small come together with some non-alcoholic drinks. I think no, with a lot of spritz. With a lot of spritz. The address is on the program. Okay. At 5, right? Yes. Okay. So, your stage, Noémie.
Okay. Oh, can you hear me? Yes. Perfect. Like Joanna, I might be a tiny bit in a panic zone, so please be kind. And and as I am the last presentation of the day, please bear with me. It might just be useful. So I'm going to present you the Bootcamps training program that is a funding scheme that Europa Cinemas has started in 2024 and that is supported by the Creative Europe media program. A tiny bit of context, Europa Cinemas has seen a phenomenal growth in the past few years, but we have also observed that cinemas are facing new challenges, and also that Europe is divided in terms of local, regional, or even national development. So that's what inspired us to launch the bootcamp training scheme. So, what are the bootcamps? They are professional trainings that exhibitors organize themselves for others, for other exhibitors, members of the network. So that means you organize a training and we give you the technical and financial support to do so. To get started, you have to ask yourself, why is a training needed and what you want to do with it? Then, once you have an idea, you can read the guidelines, draft your project, find the participants and experts, and apply. It's not so difficult, as you can hear. When you're drafting your project, remember that we are looking for something that's going to be very practical, really solution-oriented. So it's not going to be a conference. It's not going to be an industry meeting. We want really something that's going to be hands-on for all participants. And all along, remember that this is ultimately about your local need, and you have really to identify your need at your local scale. So, to sum it up, remember, why is this needed? And what will the participants do with the lessons learned? Here you have a list of some subjects that have been treated, picked, explored during some bootcamps that have been done already. This is just examples. You are really welcome to find other topics that have not been listed here. You just have to show us that this is needed at your local scale. So here you have all the information about the application process, and the application form are all already available on our website. But shortly, you need to have your project, of course, and make sure that you reach the criteria, and then you can apply. It's a rolling annual funding scheme, so you can apply at any time during the year until the beginning of September this year, provided, of course, that we still have some budget left. Sorry, I need to breathe. And Then you can send your application at the latest 8 weeks before the event happens. And once your project is submitted to Europa Cinemas, we will examine it and get back to you within 4 weeks. If the project is accepted, you organize the training, and afterwards you report to us with invoices, and then we will make the payment after examining the invoices. A detail that you need to take into account is that you will have to anticipate the costs of the bootcamp. So here's a list of what is requested in the application. I will not read the slide. You can take a look, maybe take a picture if you are interested or want to know more. I see some phones. I'll let you take the picture. Yes, okay. Okay. And here are some eligible costs and non-eligible costs. These are the costs you can apply for. You don't need to have all these costs in your application. So for example, here you see translation if needed. If the boot camps happen in your local language, you of course do not need any translation. So it all depends on what happens during your boot camp. Here are frequently asked questions. For the first one, what does local mean? Well, local or regional can mean a language area or an area that shares problematics. So, for example, last year, bootcamp training happened in the Baltic countries, and they all came together for that. It can also be countrywide, or a smaller entity inside of one country. How many participants should I really have in my bootcamp? Well, in our opinion, the minimum number is the best, because, sorry, I think I got mistaken. Yeah, the minimum number, sorry, is the best because the less you are, the better you learn. But in the end, it all comes down to what makes sense regarding what you want in your bootcamp. So it depends on the subject, that you choose, the budget, the number of participants, and so on. How many days should your bootcamps last? Well, in average, it lasted 2 days in 2024. But our advice is to keep it packed, but don't exhaust your participants. Yes, we are not a bootcamp training. You will know how many days works for you, and you will tell us why, of course. And regarding the maximum budget, well, we have no fixed maximum budget because once again, it all comes down to what makes sense and how you organize your bootcamp. So, for example, the per person costs, the general costs in your country, and ultimately, what does make sense. You have here the average per person cost in 2024 for Europa Cinemas participants. Yeah. So now you've got it. We're giving you a possibility to do a training and organize it, so we give you the necessary support to do so, but you are the main driving force. Here's a look at the bootcamps that happened in 2024. They covered a lot of subjects that we have covered during the lab, actually, so if you want more information about them, you can find some on our website, in the bootcamps part of our website. We have had a lot of feedback from the participants. Here are some statistics. I'm not going to bore you too long, but I'm just putting it out there, hoping that it will encourage you, because it shows that the bootcamps are reaching professionals that do not usually take part to our events. For example, we see that 61% of the participants last year never went to a conference, a meeting, a lab, or they had never been part of any Europa Cinema's common projects like Collaborate to Innovate or an exchange. We are really happy about that because that means we are reaching a new part of the network, and one of the reasons is surely the fact that the trainings usually happen in the local language, so we are reaching those behind the language barrier and those, of course, who cannot travel that distance. And of course, we are delighted to see that the participants are generally very happy with the trainings, as you see on the second diagram. Yeah, I hear you laugh. Most of the participants are finding the trainings useful, so we're also very happy about that. And most of them are certain that the training they did have given them those practical tools that we discussed before and during the whole lab to implement in their daily work. After words of encouragement, a few words of advice. If you visit the bootcamps part of our website, you can read more about the project and especially about the lessons learned and the tips the coordinators have for anyone who wants to do a bootcamp project. In a nutshell, what comes up from the coordinators in 2024 can be divided into two categories. The first one is making sure that the application makes sense. For example, find the right target group for your chosen topic and people who are motivated enough not to cancel on you last minute. And find the experts that have the right set of skills for your needs. The second category is the importance of being prepared. Give yourself enough time to prepare everything. Many coordinators have told us that if they had known, they would have sent the application way before the last deadline of 8 weeks before the event. So that's something to keep in mind. And also prepare yourself for the famous last-minute surprises of event organizing. For instance, doing a waiting list in case of cancellations is not a bad idea. So we know that 2025 might be a short notice if you're just hearing about the bootcamps right now. But this funding scheme will most likely keep on existing in 2026. So take a look at the guidelines and the presentations of the past projects. You can find them on our website, on our YouTube channel, and in the past 2 network reviews. And most importantly, know that even though this is your work to do, the Europa Cinemas team is here to help and advise you at any stage of the bootcamp. So feel free to contact the coordinator of the program, Mila Noros. You have her email here, or your country coordinator who will put you in touch with her. Thank you.